Hey, welcome to Fitzdog Radio. It's me. I'm at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, California. Not a fan of Vegas. Nice hotel, little too big. I get lost a lot, and crowds are good. I'm at the Brad Garrett Club, and it's very, very well run. Cindy's taking good care of me. I'm working with Big J Hollingsworth, who's an old friend. Big Irish J. And, my wife's coming out for the weekend for Valentine's Day. That's going to be nice. We'll chill out. We'll make sweet, sweet love on that bed. And, it's going to be sweet. Something about hotel sex. Let's not kid ourselves. It's just more fun. I don't know why. Maybe because you don't have to think about kids coming home or whatever, but that's fun. Should I even talk about the Super Bowl or retired? We're tired of the Super Bowl. Kendrick Lamar, blah, blah, blah. Taylor Swift got booed, blah, blah. I didn't like that. I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift per se, but that's cruel. 70,000 people booing you. That's just, it's not right. As Kevin Meaney would say, that's not right. I've been so fucking burnt out. I've been burnt out since August when I started promoting this special. I've been on the road nonstop, touring with the New Hour, and I have not been home enough. I'm not recharging. This past week, I missed 2 shows. I never, ever miss shows. Monday night, I was supposed to be at Largo with Nikki Glazer. It was Judd Apatow's show. Fucking completely missed it. Got a text a half hour into the show saying, "Where are you?" And then Friday night, I had a bunch of spots this weekend. I had like 6 spots in 3 nights. And one of them was an 8 o'clock show at the Laugh Factory. And I'm out to dinner in Venice with my wife and 2 friends. And then my phone rings, and it's the manager of the Laugh Factory going, "Where are you?" And I was like, fuck, twice in 1 week. And so I had to stop down, and now I'm doing a lot of meditation. Where's the book? I'm reading this really good book on meditation. That's a bad sign that I can't find it. And it's called Thich Nhat Hanh is the author's name. And it's about mindfulness, and I got to find my mindfulness. Be here. Be doing this podcast right now. Feel my feet on the ground. If you're brushing your teeth, focus on brushing your teeth. Whatever activity you're doing, think of nothing else. And that will actually give you more time, because then your mind isn't bouncing around, not finishing thought. I don't know. Whatever. It worked. I felt good yesterday. I did it. And otherwise, just a lot of scrolling. A lot of Instagram reels. I guess that's the... Instagram has like 4 different ways of sending out messages, and I don't remember which is which, but all I know is this. I'm scrolling reels, and I'm snorting because I have snot. I still have leftover cold, and I'm snorting snot. And all of a sudden, I start to get a wave of sinus relief videos. I'm not kidding you. I'm getting videos about being in Las Vegas. I'm getting videos about having an extra large penis. I don't know how it knows that. No, isn't that fucking weird, though? It's sending me sinus stuff? Like, it's hearing me snort? This is fucking crazy. We are so far gone. Anyway, I'm going to get right to it today because I love my guest. Fahim Anwar is going to be here in a minute. If you haven't gotten a Sunday Papers t-shirt, go to fitzdog.com. You can get one that says Take It Ish. You can get one that says Sunday Papers. They're only about $25, which is pretty cheap. Tour dates coming up. Fontana, California. Stage Red on February 22nd. Then I'll be at the Atlanta Punchline March 6th through 8th. Hollywood Improv, St. Patty's Day show on March 15th It will be a great lineup and also unbelievable musical guests to be announced later. Coming to Hamilton, Ontario, Toronto, Pittsburgh, Boston, Escondido, Tampa, La Jolla. Go to Fitzdog.com. Get some tickets. Come see the new hour. It's killing, if I do say so myself. And let's get to my guest. You know him from films like Neighbors, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, Coffee. He was on Guy Code on MTV. Chuck. He was in a sketch group called Goatface Comedy that was pretty famous, and they had a run on Comedy Central, I think it was. So anyway, he's got a 1-hour special, There's No Business Like Show Business. He's got another one called Promising Future Star. He's been on Conan, Superior Donuts. He's been on Rogan. He's been on Marin, and he's been on this podcast before, but he's back. We had a great talk this week. I hope you enjoy it. This is Fahim Anwar. Fahim Anwar is my guest. He's drinking water.
It's really good stuff.
It's not bad, right?
Yeah.
I mean, water is pretty amazing when you think about the things that we take for granted in life. Like, water is life.
I don't drink enough. I always hear you have to have like 3 giant spark, like gallons of, you know what I mean? Sometimes I'll go like 2 days, I'm like, I haven't had water.
I always feel guilty.
I'm
I'm
gonna
not,
die.
yeah, I feel that I'm not drinking enough water.
Is that new? Because I feel like in the 50s, they didn't tell people to drink this much water.
No, but there were water fountains. If you were white, there was water fountains everywhere.
It's true.
That's
But then they open it up to other ethnicities.
Yeah, now it's pretty much
We can all do it, right?
Everybody can go to
Have
the
I been using
fountain.
the wrong one?
Well,
You go, it depends who you ask.
it depends on what state you're in.
Yeah.
But I think there'd be a hose for you. Yeah.
So more water faster.
Yeah, yes. Right. And showering. I mean, the hose, there's so many
It's
things.
like 2-in-1 conditioner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sort of like.
Do you use conditioner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do a 2-in-1 thing. I separate it.
Yeah.
But I do Tresemme. It's like a nickel, and you get this giant thing of it, and it's good.
Oh, so you're not like
I'm not bougie.
you're not metrosexual.
No, there was a moment where like it was hip to be that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's fallen out. Well, now it's all about elk and like bow hunting and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not cool to be metro.
Oh my God. I forget metro. I want to be homosexual. Like,
Go all the way.
yes.
Why are you?
You know, metro.
That's when we were dipping our toe in the gay pool.
Yes.
Remember?
Right.
I think all the metros from back in the day are just full on homo.
Yes. That's probably true. I think
I could say homo because I was just abbreviating homosexual, but not in a bro way.
you didn't say transsexual.
Wait, that's okay
Wait.
though. That's okay though.
Wait,
right?
wait. Trans is okay.
Yes.
Transsexual is not okay.
No, transsexual is okay.
Okay.
It's, when it's the Y is what gets you into trouble. That's
Right.
Like transmission.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Transsexually.
I think that's okay too.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You ever dressed up as a woman?
I have.
You have?
In elementary school.
Halloween?
No, I did. We did a talent show. Me and my 3 friends. We did TLC. Oh, no. I forgot what song. Is this just me coming out as gay on a podcast? Like that's like a deep memory that I've totally forgotten.
We're going deep.
Just the rest of the pod is just me grappling with my sexuality. Yeah. I'll be in Vancouver this weekend doing shows.
Is there a
Come out and
gay
see me
bar
on
there?
tour. I have to completely rewrite my act as a gay man now.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then I just catapult to stardom.
The clothing's fine. You already dressed like a gay guy.
Mother.
That's the highest
I don't have
compliment.
to take that. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
It's
For where we
saying that
are.
you have a haircut like a gay guy or clothing like a gay guy.
I have this theory. Gay guy sounds abrasive,
Yeah.
but it's really innocuous. And I think it's because tonally it is reminiscent of the F, the bad word for,
Yes.
gay men, which is, I don't want to say it, but it's like baguette, but, with an F.
Yeah.
So gay guy has that gaga.
Yeah.
And so it gets grandfathered in to being offensive when it's really not, but it's that gaga sound
Right.
that is knee jerk and like Pavlovian. But there's nothing wrong with gay guy.
Yeah, it's the alliteration,
Yes,
the hard
that's
alliteration.
The that reminds people.
Well, I think also saying guy at the end of almost anything isn't great. Like black, you can say a guy is black, but if you say he's a black guy.
What's wrong with guy? But then when I say man, it makes it seem like it's a homosexual with a briefcase, like he's Don Draper.
You're right.
But he's just a guy.
Actually, maybe guy softens, because if you say that guy Tommy, he's a black. Well, but if you say he's a black guy, then it's okay.
Well, look, there's a hierarchy of offense. I think black's pretty bad, and then black guy is a little better.
Yeah.
And black man,
black
is
dude,
dude is good, right?
Dude is really good because it's a sign of acceptance and familiarity.
Yeah.
You know, he's one of us. He's a dude.
Dude, yeah, because guy can be flippant.
Yeah.
But dude is inclusive.
Right.
Yeah. Black man.
What's funny to me is that all the really edgy comics that want to say like, well, we can't say retarded anymore, and they say the baguette word.
It's ironic because they say it like who they're talking about. You know?
Right.
No.
Yeah, but then the crazy thing is, if you're really ballsy, if we really should be able to say anything, say the N-word. How come you always stop short of that if you're so ballsy?
Because they don't want to get hurt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Say it.
You say go all the way.
Yeah.
So your message to everybody out there.
No, I'm saying it to the comics that are so proud of themselves.
If you're really edgy.
That are so anti-woke. It's like, well, okay, then fucking step up your game.
That's a good point.
They'll say cunt.
Sure. That's one. I feel like in the UK that's not a big deal, but for YouTube,
well, that's why Ellen DeGeneres moved there.
So she could just be. It's not even about saying it. It's just they go, we embrace it.
Yeah, we love cunts. Yeah. How's she gonna do in England?
Great, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
I don't know. What if she doesn't like it there? Where do you go? She's like in Sudan.
Well, whether or not she likes it, I think a lot of it has to do also with that little town in the English Highlands is into having a mega celebrity. You know,
probably awesome.
Do you think?
What, to have, so like people love that a celebrity's in town? It's got to be some novelty to that.
Unless they like their little quaint town and they don't like paparazzi and.
But the other thing too, though, like, isn't Ellen so famous? She's not really going to the Grove and interacting with a ton of people.
That's
so
true.
Even if people don't like you, you're already in a castle. You're just like looking out and you're like, they don't like me.
Right.
But that's the same everywhere.
Yeah, she's not shopping at the green store. Yeah.
Yes, I don't know how much of a difference that makes.
Yeah. I guess it depends on if it's the kind of town that will then attract other celebrities and become like the new Santa Barbara.
Cultural hub.
Yeah.
Like an artistic hub.
Yeah. But I don't have any love for the English anyway. I don't care what happens to them.
It's kind of fun. Have you done shows out there?
Yeah.
Stand up in London?
Yeah.
It's cool. I did it for a week, maybe years ago, that Soho Theater.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
The audience is a little interactive, right?
Not when I did it.
No,
because it was kind of like they're like kind of theater going.
Oh, okay.
And they all gear up for Edinburgh.
Yes,
that Edinburgh Fringe.
It's everything.
Yes, so you know how we do that whole an hour a year since Louie did that thing, so everyone does that. They do that for Edinburgh.
Yeah,
but they're so storytelling based. So stylistically, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I would do my hour, and then there was a woman who was doing hers after me, and it's her show gearing up for Edinburgh. And it's entertaining.
Yeah.
But it cusps on one woman showy. And it's just a totally different animal.
Well, I find that it's very different than us. The British comics that I've seen, with the exception of like Jimmy Carr maybe, like they're so esoteric.
Yeah.
And they're so conceptual. You know, it's always like my new hour is about how, I take egg whites and I go to Sweden and then I interact with, old Jewish women. It's like, why don't you just tell jokes?
Yeah, my brain doesn't work that way. I'm envious. It's like it's totally different. I don't even know how to write that way. I don't even know how to connect this to that. And then there's a theme.
You're right.
I just have observations collected over my, like, little, they're so short.
Right.
And then strung together into bits.
Right.
I don't have an overall theme, but people like that. That's why people like movies and like stories.
Yeah. Well, Gary Gulman apparently has a new hour that's amazing. He's doing it at a theater in New York. Well, he did that Depression.
Yeah.
Which was really great. But this goes even deeper, apparently.
He's even more depressed. In this.
This one.
They have to kick the knife out of his hands. It's amazing. And then he has spare razor blades in his belt, and they have to pin him down. There's a belt in his teeth. He's like, and there's an encore where he tries to kill himself. They have to take his shoelaces out of his shoes.
There can't be a balcony in the theater.
There can't be.
No, and then they automatically stream Ted Lasso afterwards just to cheer you up. Yeah.
It's a party favor. Just, okay, that was heavy. Here's one season of Ted Lasso before you leave.
Little palate cleanser. Yeah.
Like Ari hit me up to do his storyteller show. And it's daunting to me to do 10 or 15 minutes of a story.
Yeah. I
feel like I could tell a story for maybe 3 minutes.
Right.
Some people are just so good at doing that, spinning a yarn, or I don't know. I don't compartmentalize that stuff in my mind that way.
Yeah, I like it, but then after I've done it like 4 or 5 times on stage, there's something about telling a story that I'm sick of telling that the audience doesn't dig it anymore. Like I need jokes that are like math. Like here's the setup, here's the turn, here's the punchline. Because then it's all about the timing and it's hard. And stories are much more about like really connecting to the crowd and taking them on a little ride. And I'm not always that vulnerable on stage.
And you have to be in the mood, I suppose.
Yeah.
Right? It's so funny how audiences could tell when you've fallen out of love with something.
Yeah.
So if you don't believe it, they sniff it. They're like, why should I give a fuck?
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's like a stripper who's like, she's already turned 26. It's like, come on. You're not into this anymore. You're not even on cocaine anymore.
She's grinding on you, and you go, I don't believe any of this.
Not buying this.
you just speak out this truth.
Yeah, look, I'm a 50.
I don't buy any of this.
I'm a 58-year-old bald guy with bad breath, and I get the sense you don't want to be here right now.
You're a secret shopper. Like they get fired after you can sense it. They go, look, if Craig can sense it, you're not cutting the mustard anymore.
Right. I mean, the tits can be fake, but not the attitude.
Yo, that's what I've thought about, because I have been to a strip club maybe like two. I always get dragged. I don't love strip clubs.
You've gone twice in your life?
Maybe twice.
Yeah.
2 or 3 times. It's always, I don't want to ruin the party, so I'll if that's what they're doing, I'll go, I guess. So just observation-wise, I think women think guys go to the strip clubs because they just want to see tits, and it's not about that, because they come, you're sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
And then they come and they talk to you and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys have never talked to a woman this beautiful for this long.
Yeah.
They've never asked them about their day before. So it's not even about the boobs. It's just like some hot girl saying like, oh, so like you play Magic the Gathering?
Yeah.
Yeah, like different cards are more powerful than others. Yeah? So like what kind of cards do you have? Like it's not even about tits.
Yeah.
So it's that. Like men are going for that.
And there's more women than guys in there, which means inevitably the guy, she'll say, would you like a dance? He gets to say to her, no, thank you. He gets to reject her. Yeah. Right.
He has his Magic the Gathering. He's like, no, thank you. Come by another time. I said no. And then finally gets a dance, and he's like, this is worth a lot of money. You're going to want to keep that.
Yeah,
that's better than money.
Right.
During Magic the Gathering.
During Comic-Con, that's what the strippers expect in Vegas. Just a lot of cards.
Cards smell like ass.
Oh, my God. I was at this hotel. Where the hell was I this weekend? Jesus.
Did you play Vegas?
No. I was in 3 different cities, and I can't remember. Oh, Raleigh, North Carolina was the last city I was in. And the hotel has like a little conference area connected to it. And so I'm walking back from lunch, and I see that there's like a line of nerds. And there's like a card show going on. And so I went inside, and it had like Pokemon cards. And there's these dudes, and I'm standing there next to them. And I mean, the body odor, it wasn't just one guy. Like a lot of them had really bad body odor.
Like Power Rangers of body odor, like with our powers combined.
Yeah. The card smell. But they had like really cool baseball cards. Like you could get like a Pete Rose signed card or like Reggie Jackson, and I was like, they were like $70. I was like, I should buy a couple cars. I was like, I guess you with a fucking
Then you got to
baseball
protect
card.
it and travel with it. You got to
Yeah.
get the case.
Right. Did you ever collect cards?
A little bit. My brother would, so then I just kind of followed suit.
Yeah.
He had a Carl Yastrzemski card.
No.
In like carbonite. You know,
Yeah.
like Han Solo was buried in?
Right.
He has it in that. It's
Uh-huh.
so fucking thick.
Yeah.
And there's screws and shit, you know?
Right.
I wonder how much that's worth now. But that's his prized possession. It's probably in a shoebox somewhere. I have some cards. I would collect basketball cards too, and there was a moment where they would be like really long. It'd be like vertical cards. It'd be like
Actual size.
kind of, or it was like poster size. I don't think any of them are worth that much.
Well, when I was starting out in Boston, you used to always have to drive the headliner to the gig because they all had DUIs and lost their licenses.
Yeah.
So part of being an opener was not just having 10 minutes, but having a car. And so this guy named Mike Donovan, one of the best comics I've ever seen in my life. This guy's still up in Boston working.
Yeah.
Just a constructionist, like really smart. And so but not social at all. So I pick him up at his house, and I would drive him from Boston down to Providence 4 nights in a row. It's like an hour.
Oh man.
Hour and 15 minutes. And so he'd get in the car and he'd nod at me. And then he would put on sports on the radio and listen. And that was it. And so back and forth, backstage of the show, nothing. So at the end of the night, usually at the end of the weekend, then they give you some gas money.
Mm-hmm.
So I drop him off at his apartment on the last night. And he goes, I want you to come inside. And I'm like, and he's a pothead. So I was like, what does he think? He's going to get me high instead of give me gas? So I go inside and I sit on his couch, and then he goes into his bedroom and he comes out and he's got a stack of laminated baseball cards. He's a huge sports guy, and he had file cabinets full of baseball cards. That was his thing. And so he gives them to me, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with baseball? So they sit in my apartment for years, and then I put them in my aunt's basement in the Bronx in this chest, and it sat there until she died, and then I went down. I had to get rid of the chest, and I open it up, and I look at the cards. And 4 of the pages, which have about 12 on each page, are Mark McGwire rookie cards. But the year he gave them to me, Mark McGwire was a rookie. Nobody knew he was great yet.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is fucking gold. So I go to the hobby store, and I
Did you run?
I ran.
How much for all of them?
in my
Like,
bathrobe.
yeah.
And so he looks at them and he goes, oh, Mark McGwire. He goes, if you had brought me these before the doping scandal, they'd probably be worth $200 each. He goes, now I'll give you 25 cents a card.
Ugh.
I was like, no.
They care that much?
So I kept them. I was like, fuck it. These are my Mark McGwire cards.
Maybe it'll come back around once we get over steroids.
I think so. I mean, I think Pete Rose has a shot at the Hall of Fame now.
It's too bad he's dead, huh? It would have been nice to
Yeah,
be alive for that.
I know. Meanwhile, what's his name?
Ohtani?
What?
Ohtani or what?
Ohtani Betts.
No, that's his translator, dude.
Yeah.
Pete Rose should have had a translator. You know what I mean?
The greatest.
He's like, I don't know. I know.
It's like you're from Memphis. Nah. Yeah, I think that's so weird. And then, who knows if Brett Favre will get into the Hall of Fame.
Because of the dick stuff or what?
Well, there's the dick stuff. There's the fact that he's friends with the governor of the state, and he
all
used
that money stuff,
welfare
or
money to build his daughter a gym for volleyball team.
I'm wondering, because gambling on sports is very intertwined with the sport.
Yeah.
So there's bad juju with that, So is that different than just embezzling money or whatever that is? Obviously it's not flattering, but it's not super connected with football.
Right.
So I wonder if he gets a pass.
Maybe.
I'm not condoning it, but
No, if you start judging football players and
on
basketball
behavior,
players' behavior,
that's a good point.
nobody's getting in.
I mean, Neil Brennan's joke about I forgot who it was who was in the news for beating his girlfriend in the elevator or something. And he goes, these guys, they're just getting hit in the head all the time. And he's like, I did football when I should have been doing life. You know what I mean? He just did football at the wrong time.
Football.
It's like football.
Yeah.
I should have done elevator instead of football. They just get confused. Right? Because they have to be maniacs 99% of their lives, and then it's like having a dog with a bone on their nose.
Right.
Like, it's a switch you have to.
Yeah. Me and my friend were at a college, at Marymount College in New York, and we were like maybe 19, and we were at some kind of a party on campus. And so we're walking back, and then my friend gets into a beef with this guy, little Latino guy, like nothing. And so he's about to square off with him, and then somebody dives, and he's like, dude, that's Hector Camacho.
Wait, that name's familiar. Who is that?
Hector Macho Camacho. He was a light.
Oh, boxer.
He was a featherweight. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. He would have gotten killed.
Yeah. Well, isn't that? I heard that they're weapons. Like if you get in a fight and you're a boxer, the penalty is greater than if you were a regular guy fighting because you know what you're doing.
Right. Like if you were to go to somebody at a party and really shit on him and humiliate him and he killed himself, like that's a different crime.
Because my comedy is a weapon.
It's a lethal weapon.
Like our sarcasm is so great.
Right.
That it's like having an AK-47.
Use it responsibly.
Right.
Yeah. Use it only to stop crime.
Right.
Like what if you saw a guy ripping off a Store 24 or 7-Eleven and you just said to him, nice shirt, dude.
He has a knife. And what's wrong with it? It just totally disarms him.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh, it's no good?
Yeah.
A little tight.
Yeah. Dude, you look pretty single.
Yeah. I have some prospects. And that's enough time for another guy to like choke him.
Right.
That'd be pretty funny. Like he's on the force. He's like, he's a comedian, but he roasts people. It buys us enough time to neutralize the situation. He's coming with chips. Nice shoes. What are you, homeless?
Yeah. So you got a jumper on a building. Dude, you wouldn't jump.
Your calves are so tiny.
Yeah.
Probably couldn't.
So let's talk about an incident that happened recently with us.
Oh.
I don't even know how to get into this.
Yeah, please.
So I bought a new car. I got a Ford Mustang, and you knew how excited I was.
Yeah.
I think you'd probably heard me
we
talking about
for sure.
Yeah, buying it before I did. So I buy the car. It's a beautiful charcoal gray Mustang. It's sexy, but refined. It doesn't have racing stripes on it. It's not red.
Yeah.
I'm 58.
It's understated.
It's understated. And so I'm telling you, I said, Fahim, I fucking got it. I got the car. And you were so excited. We came, you show it to me. So we went out to the parking lot and you go, let's go. Let's get inside. So we got inside the car and then we sat there for a couple minutes and I think I played the radio. And then I was like, all right. And then we got out. I got to ask you, did you think I was going to drive you around in the car?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't think you were going to drive me around. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I was going to take your lead on it.
But I was driving home and I said to myself, oh my God, I should have taken him for a test drive. That's why he got in the car, not to look at the console. He wanted to see how it drove.
It's almost like you have a Lamborghini getting like, you're like, pretty sweet console, huh? All right, take it easy.
That's it.
And you go.
See one tear rolling
cool
down your
interior. I just texted you, great interior, Gray.
Wait, so you were not expecting to get driven around?
It wouldn't have been weird if you did.
Yeah.
I was honestly completely just going off of whatever you were gonna do.
Okay.
Because I saw the exterior, getting in, seeing the interior.
Right.
I wasn't like, let's get this baby on the road.
I think,
but if you did, I'd be like, okay.
I think it would have taken our friendship to another
the next level. That's a good point. Yeah.
Because we only hang out when we see each other at the club.
We've been on our feet.
Yes.
We've never been on wheels together.
We've never sat in front of each other. I don't even know how you sit. This is the first time I've seen you sit.
No, we've done pod.
Oh, we did
the
podcast
pod before.
Yeah.
And then maybe in the bucket seats at the store, we'll do a hello.
Yeah.
We'll be sitting like that.
Right.
But we've never had an engine. We've never had motor oil introduced into our relationship.
No.
We've never had gasoline. Is it unleaded or is it 91? What is it?
No, it's just unleaded.
Is 91 unleaded too? It's just like a
It's
higher
unleaded
octane?
also, but it's got a higher octane. It's for like high performing car, which I guess.
Mine's 91.
No.
Mine's.
What kind of car do you have?
It's an Audi A5. I got it wrapped recently. I'm very excited.
You got it wrapped?
Yeah, vinyl wrapped.
What is that, the whole body?
It changes the whole color. Because the color I wanted, it's white underneath, and I'm leasing it, and this is the second. I got the same exact thing. I just like the body style. Audi's going to change their body style, so I'm like, let me just lock it in before it changes to the one I hate.
Yeah.
So it's white, but I've always wanted this color Nardo gray.
Huh.
And Audi sells it, but it's only in the sport model. So you have to pay 10 or 15 grand extra, but I just want the color. I don't need all the engine stuff.
Right.
So my brain, I'm like, let me hack this situation. I have the regular white one, but then I got it vinyl wrapped. And you can get Nardo gray.
But can you return it like that, or you have to reverse
Take it off.
You can take it off?
You don't say anything. This isn't going anywhere, is it?
No.
These are fake, right? This is like Fisher-Price podcast cameras.
Right.
This isn't real. This is just to get us to talk,
This
right?
is just like that car ride that I took with you. It's not real.
Okay.
Nothing's
Thank
going to
God.
really happen.
Thank God.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take it off before...
Wow.
You're allowed to do that. It's on the...
See, you got that single money. You got that no kid money.
I do think about that sometimes. Like, I bought my mom a car. I bought her a Lexus. And then...
my mom lunch.
But that was like carving board. That's like a lot of turkey in there.
Yeah,
And
she
then
took some home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You save one half.
Yeah.
So you're a good son too.
But you bought your mom a car. What kind of car?
With lunch in the car. Sorry. She opened the door and there was lunch on the passenger seat. I'm just trying to one-up you your whole life. Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you what I do for my mom anymore.
Oh, yeah.
You're fucking me at every turn here.
She didn't even care about the car. She goes, "Oh, lunch." She couldn't even notice the car.
Yeah.
She was just so zeroed in on the lunch.
She was hungry.
Lunch?
See, I don't let my mom get that hungry. Yeah.
Yeah, you're good that way.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, like, because it was a big purchase, and in the back of my mind, I go, I think I was able to do this because I am single. And if you are dating someone and you are on the relationship escalator, there would be some questioning, like, what about our future? That's a lot of money. Like, why that for her and not me?
Mm-hmm.
What, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would just be a little more baggage with a large purchase like that, whereas I don't have to think about that stuff. But I'm not.
No, my until recently, both kids are home.
Mm-hmm.
The last 20 years has been 12. I buy 12 meals a day.
It's a lot of meals.
I pay for 3 cell phones. I pay for health insurance for 4 people. I pay rent for 4 people. I pay for 4 cars. Everyone's got a car. I pay everybody's insurance.
Yeah.
Fucking adds up.
And this is best case scenario. You know what I mean? Imagine you were divorced. It'd be like,
oh,
come on,
right, dude.
This is ideal situation.
Dude, divorce is just, you see guys go from really comfortable driving a nice car. All of a sudden they're in that Toyota that looks like a golf cart.
The Yaris.
The Yaris.
Yeah.
They're in a Yaris now. And they're in like a studio that's got stucco, and you park your car under the underhang of the stucco apartment.
Check out the new digs. You just have to hide the fact that both of you are lying to each other. Like, yeah, this is sweet. This is a cabinet. And it's mine. No one's on my case anymore. So it's a 1-bedroom. So I don't have to sleep in the kitchen and anything.
So quick to clean up.
So quick. It's a breeze, dude. I hire a maid.
Dude.
$50 because
we got
the
a
square
pool.
footage is so.
You got the pool is like 8 feet long.
It's communal laundry, but it's so cheap. It's $1.
Dude, I meet everybody down there.
Just folding laundry. Like, this place is great, huh?
And the worst thing is that guy, when he had money and was married, girls were flirting with him with his A5.
Yeah.
And now, no woman wants to talk to him.
I wanted to... This is an observation I had. I can't get it to work. I tried it once, but the concept is I think the idea of cheating with a married guy
Wait, time out for 1 second. Should this screen be dark, Paul?
That's all right.
Okay.
Fix it for you.
Okay.
Nice. So I think the idea, some girls will cheat with a married guy.
Yeah.
And I think the idea of him leaving his family is what keeps that going.
Yes.
That's why it's hot.
Right.
Because oh my God, I could shatter his life or in a matter of moments or whatever. That's what's exciting about it.
Right.
So the idea of this guy's life blowing up or him leaving his wife is hot. But the reality of it would be gross. Because if the married guy is I did it. I left her for you. She'd be like, Yeah, now you're just a divorced guy?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of gross.
Right.
You live in an apartment
and it's a
now?
lot of pressure on
like,
her.
And like I used to just get a little bit of you when you had free time. Now I have you all the time.
Yeah.
So the thing that she wants when she's cheating with a married guy is actually not what she wants because it becomes gross.
Yes.
Because if the guy were to actually divorce his wife and she had this guy do him to herself, it would just be, ew, I thought that's what I wanted, but now that I see it, it's gross. And he's like, what, I blew up my life for no reason?
Well, it's a little bit like when I bought my Mustang, because, I drove a Prius before that.
That's that's like going from Democrat to Republican. That was a hard switch.
Well, my kids finally grew up.
Yeah.
And I don't have to pay, I'm not paying for my son's, well, I am paying for almost everything still. But I felt a relief at a certain point, and I said, I've wanted a Mustang my whole life. I'm finally going to do it. And I bought it, and then I got fucking rammed from the side, $11,000 worth of damages, 7 weeks repairing it. Luckily, the other guy's insurance paid it.
Yeah.
But as soon as I got hit, my feeling was I felt like that waitress that had been flirting with that married comedian. I was just like, I shouldn't have done this.
But, I mean, what? Is it the whole rigmarole of getting it fixed and everything?
No, it's just the feeling of I loved something material too much. And I never have been a material person. And that's kind of why I never got the car, as I never wanted to like to me, it's about travel. We travel a lot, my family. We travel all over the world every year. And obviously, taking care of them. And so buying a fancy car just didn't fit that worldview for me. And then I did, and it was like, see, you got your
like cosmic
priorities.
Justice or
yes,
something.
yes.
You step outside yourself for once,
right?
And this is what happens.
Right. What did you drive before the A5? Like a Honda?
No, it was a Mazda 3, a 2007 Mazda 3, stick shift.
Ooh.
So
Mazda 3. That's like what you get when you graduate college.
Yo, zoom, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Watch yourself. zoom. Because I didn't want to tow you. I didn't want a Corolla because I had already had 2 of those prior.
Yeah.
And then a Civic. It's in the same boat.
Oh.
The Mazda 3 felt somewhat better, but it's still the same thing. So I had the Mazda 3 for a long time. And then this was the Mustang for me. My A5 is like your Mustang.
Yeah.
I really don't spend a lot of money on anything. I'm pretty frugal.
Spent a lot on clothes.
No, not even. Like JCPenney, dude.
Really?
I swear to, yeah.
You're always well dressed.
People don't know tags and all that. JCPenney is I don't work for them. It's just such a life hack.
Yeah.
Because we do okay.
It's always heavily discounted there, right?
Well, even if it's not, you feel like a Saudi prince in there. Like, I'll take this rack.
Yeah.
I don't even have to look at prices in there. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's all about fit. It's
Right.
just about fit and cut. And you're like, yeah, it's fine.
Do you tailor stuff once you buy it?
No, I'm too lazy. I don't care that much.
Right.
I was talking about this the other day. Being on top of fashion is like day trading. I don't have the brain power for it.
Right.
I just don't care enough.
Yeah.
I think in jokes and sketches, and I just want to dedicate my brain to that. I don't want to be like, okay, what bucket hat fits with this?
Also, finding out that the bucket hat is what everybody's wearing this season.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to wear what everybody's wearing this
I don't want to be on the bleeding edge of fashion. I just want to look socially acceptable for whatever the event is, or like, is this okay society?
Right.
That's it.
Right.
I just want to look okay
Who's
enough.
the worst dressed comedian?
There's probably a lot of them. I don't know. Probably a young one, right?
Some of the young
because they don't
ones
have a
are
lot
very
of
poorly
money.
dressed. Eddie Pepitone could take it up a notch.
That's true. He starts wearing tuxes.
He was,
He's doing an image. Isn't it funny when you see a comic do like a rebrand?
yeah,
I'll notice. We all notice it. Like, we know what they've been wearing. And they go, okay.
right.
You think no one's going to know what you were doing up
You know
until
who
this
did
point?
it?
Huh.
Rick Ingram. He opened for
Suits.
Chris Rock
Yeah?
around the world, and all of a sudden he came back and he started wearing suits, and he did it for like 6 months, and all of a sudden back with the flannel shirt.
Well, he does it sometimes.
Oh, he
And
does?
it is kind of fun to dabble with.
Yeah.
All right, let's see how the act works with the suit.
Mm-hmm.
It's only things that you would pick up on or I would pick up on as a performer when you're wearing the suit. It's so subtle.
Right.
It's not like your act is completely different or everyone's like, because you're wearing a tie. But there is an air of authority where like, oh, okay, this guy's a pro.
Well,
He
if
wore a
that's
suit.
what you're going for, like Seinfeld always said, you should be dressing better than the best dressed person in the audience, which is a lot of pressure. Because you go on the road, what am I going to do? Like wear this suit on the plane? I can't pack a suit and then steam it before the show. So I think if you're a guy who's trying to be an everyman, then you're lucky because then you get to dress like a slob.
It's a good
You're
point.
trying to be that guy.
Right, like CBS sitcom guy.
Yeah.
You want to be like a Mike and Molly guy.
Not even an expensive sweater. You want like a polyester sweater.
You want stains on it. Actually, it's
some
beneficial.
stains. You know, you put the stains on. You buy it new and put the stains on.
Like it's a sticker.
Yeah. And then, but I went through a sharkskin suit phase for when I was in my early 30s. For about 4 years, I wore sharkskin
Really?
suits.
What does
thin
that? What does that
ties.
look like? What is a shark?
It was before Mad Men came out, but I looked like John Hamm from Mad Men, except not John Hamm.
You just go up there. You wouldn't even talk for a while. And go.
Yeah.
I always like when people play with audiences' expectations, where they just—it's like kind of masturbatory, where it's more performance art before they get in anything. Like,
Yeah.
to introduce you, because you're just riding on potential at this point. You could be
Right,
anything,
right,
and you're like,
yeah.
"Whoa, this guy's unbothered. He's
Yeah.
taking his time. He's getting another cigarette.
Yeah. Black comics are good at that.
What, smoking on stage?
Just taking their time.
I do heroin. I get up there, and then I have the searchable tubing, and I just go."
Yeah. Right. Whatever your addiction is.
You read about this Trump thing? Oh, and then I do crowd work. And I go, "Are you guys dating?" I do heroin. I do crowd work.
You guys have an extra room in your house?
Yeah, then I just doze off in the middle of my thing. You guys are doing great. And then two guys have to lift me off stage.
But the funny thing is, like, people really did do cocaine before they went on stage. Like, every show. That was like
Really?
part of stand-up comedy. In the late 70s and the early 80s with Robin Williams and those guys.
So literally a line before they go up?
Oh
or
my
just
God.
at the beginning of the night?
In Boston, they used to have a thing where the comedians got paid in coke. They would get a gram of coke for a set in town. And so they used to do it at the bar. They'd watch each other and they'd chop lines at the bar and they'd watch the show. And then one day the club owner was like, "Look, the cops are coming around. You guys can't do coke at the bar anymore." And the comedians went on strike.
Because they couldn't do coke at the bar?
Yeah, so they let them do coke at the bar again.
But that seems like a legal thing and not like the club being,
I
it's not like
know.
taking away health benefits.
Well, because the cops were friends with the comedians. So they used to come in, and this place called Nick's Comedy Stop was a mob joint. It was owned by these brothers. They were mob guys. And then the cops would come in, and they would hang out, and they were friends with the mob guys, and the comedians were kings. Like, comedy was so big in the 80s in Boston that, like, they were like the mayors of the town. And so they come in and they do whatever they want, and the cops didn't give a shit.
Huh.
One time, Don Gavin, a guy threw a beer bottle at Don Gavin and hit him in the chest. And then the bouncers threw him out. Cops were in the back. Cops cuffed the guy. Gavin does another 10 minutes. And then he gets off stage. He walks back to the green room. And the guy is in handcuffs in the green room. And the cops are like, "Take a couple of shots at him, Donnie." And so Don just a couple stomach punches.
Well, it's a comedy green room, so he has chicken tenders and just, like, a few bites and some mozzarella sticks. What a time. Can you notice their demeanor? What is it like performance-wise when you do a line and then hit the stage? Is it just a little more up?
I think it's very up. It's very aggressive. I mean, you saw Robin Williams. Like, any of those old
footage,
tapes.
old footage of all the whole like zip zap zop,
Yeah.
and, like extemporaneous.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be really good, depending on your style of comedy. I think it would help me a lot, because sometimes I look at a tape and I'm like, dude, you're asleep in Act 3 here. You're mumbling.
There's a fine line though between that. It is fun, that upbeat and all that, but it has to feel real for me at least.
Yeah,
Because if it's upbeat and it feels too pushy,
right.
I don't like that artistically.
Yeah,
Where like, okay, this person's like super animated, but if there's a disconnect between the reality of the room, like
Yeah.
that person's too up for what the room is,
yeah.
then it feels weird
Yeah, I think in the 80s, comedy crowds were so new
that they
that
were just juice them up.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was just like an energy factory, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, Robin Williams, like, if you really watch what he's doing, a lot of it's very uninteresting. It's just manic.
Yeah, and then you almost feel one or two steps behind, so then it's kind of fun to try to keep up, and then you get one thing, and
Yeah,
then you like laugh.
Right.
Yeah, it is a little all over the place.
I mean, some of the stuff he did was really amazing, like his Carnegie Hall special. But a lot of it is, if you watch him enough, it's like the same 4 or 5 pretty stereotypical characters that he's doing. And it's just more of like his facility in changing characters. And
Well, so quick. I guess,
Yeah.
his mind is already that way, and then
Right.
Coke just amps it up.
right.
It's like
right.
that limitless drug.
Yeah. Have you done Coke?
I've never done Coke.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah, you should try Coke.
Should I?
Yeah, try it.
What if this is like a real marker of before and after my career? So this is like Dylan going electric, Like once I do Coke,
Right.
cut to the next time we talk, Madison. So you sold out Madison Square Garden? I'm like, yeah. So it's 7 shows sold out. It's crazy. I don't know. I just kind of like tapped into what makes me funny.
And I'm like, you must be sleeping really well these days. Haven't slept in about a week.
Sleep with that.
I would want 10%. If I get to be your dealer.
Yeah, but now it's all risky with all the fentanyl and
Yeah.
stuff. I always think it's so interesting how that's how good Coke is, where people are putting on lab coats at a party and putting the Coke through like a centrifuge and being
Yeah.
like, it's good, guys.
Yeah. All of a sudden you're like Bryan Cranston.
Yes, like the delinquents in high school and stuff who are doing all the drugs are now they're getting chemistry degrees.
Yeah.
They have strips. They're running it through. They go, yep, all right.
Yeah.
It's all good, everybody.
Okay, now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took some chemistry classes at the community college. We should all be fine.
I think now it's about hallucinogens more so.
Like shrooms
Yeah, it's all about shrooms now.
or DMT. I saw a guy at a party. We were just hanging out. It was like a hang. And then he did a DMT. He did a DMT pen. And then you just see them. It's too personal. It's like watching someone get a massage or
Yeah.
something. Because they're at the party, but not really anymore.
Right.
Because we're all in the living room, and then this guy's just in a chair like this
Really?
for like 5 minutes. And it's like watching a guy jerk off or something. It's
Yeah.
It's not a social.
That's
like,
such a weird
Let's hit the
place to do
DMT
it.
pen
Yeah.
in a living room.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a social drug at all.
Yeah, you disappear for a while.
Yeah.
For 5 minutes, and it feels like 3 lifetimes.
Even
I guess.
pot. When I smoke pot at a party, I am useless. I can't riff. I can't listen to people because I'm in my own head thinking.
Yeah, same.
And
Do you
then-
like it or you don't like it?
I don't know. I smoked pot my whole life, and then I quit. I got sober like many years ago, 30-something years ago. And then I started smoking pot again at 40, but just once in a while, like once in a blue moon. And then during the pandemic, I was eating it every night. Just like, it helped me relax, helped me
Yeah.
go to sleep. And then the pandemic ended, and I haven't had any since
So
then.
what are the circumstances? So you're 40, you're like, let me get back into it. What circumstances will you allow yourself to do it? How is it different than before? Where you go, okay, I want to do it in this.
Well, the night I started again, it was New Year's Eve, and I was at the Punchline in San Francisco, and I was standing in front with Brian Posehn, Tony Kameen, Doug Benson. Remember they had the marijuana logs?
Oh, yeah.
It was the cast of the
Yeah.
marijuana logs.
yeah.
And they lit a joint, and they handed it to me, and I was like, what am I? Of course. And so and it was so funny. Like I have such an addictive personality. Like I haven't drank in 35 years. And like I drank one night in 35 years. And I'm like that. If I start something, I'm going to do it. So I started smoking pot, and it started happening all the time. And, but I think now I would do it. I would do it like with my mother.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to get high with my mother before she goes.
Yeah. That's a good safeguard because it's not like you're going to be jamming out
Right.
5 nights a week.
Yeah.
Your mom's like, I love this shit. Come over.
All
Not
of
you two,
All of a
Mom.
sudden she's headlining Madison Square Garden.
Ever open for me?
7 shows.
Yeah. I go, don't do crowd work. Okay, that's my thing when I come out. All right. There's a weed comic and then a coked out comic.
Yeah.
That could be a fun show where there's 5 comics on the bill and you have to guess what drugs they're on.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
It's sort of like Clue.
And if you guess right, you get all the drugs.
You get all the drugs. You get a grab bag of all the drugs that were used today. They're sponsors. Like this guy does our coke. This guy does our shrooms.
If you lose, you got to drive the people home.
No, you have to do all the drugs on the way out. Like it's it's called a graveyard when I was a kid with all the sodas.
Oh, really?
I think they call them suicides in other
Oh,
places.
that's funny. There used to be a soda machine in my friend's apartment building, and we were like 10. And, you literally didn't even have change. And so we would take a knife, and you could reach under, I don't know if you ever done this, but you used to be able to reach through the
candy bars?
Through underneath
I used to do
and
that.
grab. And so we would poke the soda can, and we put a cup underneath it.
That's next level. That's so dirtbag.
Yeah.
Knocking it off the spring? Yeah, who hasn't done that? I used to do that. I used to be able to fish my hand and get a Twix or whatever it was. Like everything on the bottom row.
Right.
But I never, that's almost Steve Jobs. You get hired at Apple.
Yeah, I think so.
So we couldn't get the cans, so we pierced them with the knife, and there was a secondary cup where we would catch the fluid. They'd be like, oh,
wow.
Problem solver.
This guy.
That'd be great. They're just a blue collar kind of problem solver at all these tech companies.
Yeah.
Who think outside, like nerds can only think so far outside the box.
Right.
But then you get some Boston guys like,
no, my brother-in-law is unbelievable. He's completely dyslexic, like failed out of school, and he can fix anything. Like he came over to my house, and he lives in New York, but he came out to visit. And whenever he comes out to visit, it's like we got a list of shit for him to fix because that's how he likes to spend his time. And he just goes in there, and we had this fountain that 2 different plumbers came and couldn't figure out. He took the whole thing apart, put it back together again. It worked. He's got a 72 Camaro that he took, not a Camaro. I forget what it is. It's an old car. Rebuilt the whole thing. He built a house. The house he lives in, he built with one other guy. Yeah. He's unbelievable.
I don't have any aptitude for that.
Yeah.
Hire some guy.
Yeah, I'm so embarrassed when a guy, sometimes I have 2 or 3 guys over my house at the same time doing things I should be able to do myself.
It's almost like hiring guys to do your wife or something. It just feels that way. You just
right.
This is what a real man would do.
Yeah, and then they're looking at your wife, knowing
while they're screwed. Like, hey, I don't like any of this. I just pay to do the screwdriver.
Yeah.
He's just looking at your wife.
He's like, I could have you right now, right? Yeah, we had a guy who just did our gates. This is why I feel so bad about the fires. Like, there's 10,000 structures that need to be rebuilt. I tried to get somebody to put a new gate on my fence. It took me 3 months.
Oh, with all the red tape or what?
No, just finding people that the contractors are all busy. There's so much rebuilding and renovating in this city. There's not enough people to do it. Now you're going to need crews for 10,000 new structures. It's going to take 10 years.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, let's get rid of all the people. Let's deport all the people that do most of the work.
Good point, huh?
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
We're going to get my son into construction.
Will he do it?
Fuck yeah. You know.
He has no choice.
He's got to pay the rent.
Yeah.
What age would you start charging your children rent if they lived in your house?
We don't do that. It's a cultural thing. Just growing up, I would notice the difference between my white friends because my parents are from Afghanistan, and my mom would love it if I lived at the house until I was like 50 or
right.
She tells me all the time, like, move back. But I think in American
because
culture,
you're buying her a car.
That's true, but she didn't know it at the time.
Yeah.
She didn't know that this would pay off later. Mm-hmm. There's this thing with American culture where it's like and they let them know too, like the baby's just been born. They're like, don't get used to this.
Yeah.
You're 18. Enjoy those titties while you can. You got to find your own milk. It's like adversarial. You just had a baby. You're like, the clock is ticking.
Yeah, it's true.
Once you're 18, you're out of here.
Right.
Bone your mom in the living room. Like, why did you have kids? Why do you hate your kids so much?
When I was 18, I was fucking gone.
I was gone.
Yeah, and now you have no social skills.
Well, also, it's harder to do that now with the economy and kids can't get houses. So
yeah.
It's like, what do you do?
I know.
You're pretty much kicking them out to start fires in LA.
I don't necessarily want them out. I just want them to have the skills to pay rent. You know, I want them at a certain point.
How old are they?
24 and 20. My son is living on his own now. He's got an apartment with a friend.
I was out when I graduated college. I was out.
Yeah, I never went back.
Working at Boeing in Long Beach.
Oh, right.
I was paying rent.
Right.
I was living with an engaged couple, and that sucked.
No.
Because I lived at home my whole life, so I didn't know how to be an adult. So I didn't really know how to do that stuff until I was 21.
So it was like a 2-bedroom, and you were in 1 bedroom?
She was the girl and the guy were in 1 bedroom, and I was in the other bedroom. And then I would come home from work with a Subway sandwich, and they'd be canoodling on the couch. And I'd be like, okay. And then I was eating on my bed in my room.
Yeah.
And then my brother was visiting me one day, and I'm just venting. And he's like, why don't you move? And I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even think, because I haven't been through life stuff before. I didn't even think I could move.
Right.
So I go, oh yeah. So then I moved into a 1-bedroom.
Nice.
But my first situation was just like a really bad
Yeah.
Craigslist deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I was working on Crashing, and so we would shoot in New York in the summers. And so I went, and I wasn't going to go, and then at the last minute I decided to do it. And so there was no rentals available in New York. It was just like everything. I mean, you could get something for like $8,000. So I ended up at the last minute. There was a 2-bedroom apartment with a bedroom open in it. And so I was like, fuck it. It's right in Williamsburg, right where we shoot. So I took it, and I come in, and it's like the whole apartment is like half the size of the soundstage. It's a couple.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what you said. Them canoodling, them cooking together.
Yeah. Like
and
you're a ghost.
And
Or
they
you
just kept looking at me. And the bedroom didn't have a couch or a table. It was just a bed. And I would just stay in there. And then I'd see them coming in. And this went on for like 5 days. And then I finally found a place. And I go, hey, listen, I know I signed up for like a month with you guys, but would it be cool if I moved out? They're like, yeah, we were kind of wondering. They were like, we went to your IMDb page. You have 4 Emmy Awards. Why are you living with us?
You just have your Emmys around your bed with a mattress on the floor.
They're like, you come home every day and tell us about how you're producing an HBO show. Why the
They probably
fuck?
thought you were just a crazy homeless guy.
Yeah.
And they go, it's real? Because I'm sure they get that all the time. Just like some guy with a bag, like, yeah, I have an Oscar.
Yeah. Can you imagine sharing an apartment that big with a stranger?
People do it all the time in New York.
Yeah.
It's crazy what people are willing to put up with in New York. I don't have a romance with that city like that.
Yeah.
I go there. I'm like, you don't have to live this way. It's crazy.
So have you never had a roommate since that first situation?
Yeah.
Since your throuple?
I just knew, oh, this is not for me.
Yeah.
And also, I'm the type, I like living alone. I'm okay with my own thoughts. I don't need the TV on. I don't need a roommate.
You ever live with a girl?
No. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Is that hard to finesse?
It's hard for Finesse Mitchell to finesse.
Whoa, deep cut. Inside baseball.
That is unusual at your age.
Yeah. But I don't love that. I don't love jumping into, because I feel like once you start living together, then you're making decisions based on convenience and like not wanting to move than how you really feel.
Yeah.
I want to,
That's true.
I kind of want both keys to turn, and then it just, I feel like living together clouds things. And also culturally, it's easier for me not to do that. Like, we really don't do that in Afghan culture.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's very hard to explain some of these things to people who don't know that.
Right.
Because they'll take it as a slight. But I'm just like, no, culturally, we don't really like move in together super early.
Yeah.
And then also meeting the parents is such a last step thing. Whereas in American culture, you'll be dating a girl for a month and be like, oh, my brother's getting married. Come to the wedding.
Yeah.
We're like, what? That blows my mind.
Yeah.
You don't meet the parents unless you're about to get married.
My mom would never let me and my girlfriend at the time sleep in the same bedroom for 3 years. We were living together, and we'd go to visit her. We couldn't stay in the same room.
She's old school, dude.
She's Catholic. Yeah. So I remember you had a girlfriend once, though. Maybe you still do. And you guys had kind of an arranged schedule where it was like Sunday through Tuesday, she came and stayed with you.
Yeah.
Is that still going on?
No. Yeah, that's been over for a while.
Yeah.
But that was kind of a happy medium where like I would pack a bag and then hang for the weekend sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes, so that was like the solution to that.
And she was cool with that.
Yeah.
Well, apparently not.
That's not why. It's a foolproof method, man. Chicks have no problem with it.
Chicks love total abandonment every Wednesday.
Chicks love commuting every week, and they love packing a bag.
They love not being allowed to leave a toothbrush in your place.
There's one thing women love, it's not having a drawer at your house. They love being on the move. They love feeling like Jason Bourne.
But you're talking to her, and all of a sudden she's got a red dot on her forehead.
Yeah. She's like, I need a stairwell. I'm on Google Maps.
Yeah. Where are you? I'm in the apartment. Mm-hmm. So that one lasted a while, though.
Yeah, maybe 3 years.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Damn.
Yeah.
Was she a nurse or something?
No, she was did business affairs.
Oh.
At Focus Features.
Oh.
I'm getting way too granular. She was on the third floor. Like, why am I giving these details for no reason? You get out of the elevator, there's a Sparklets cooler. You keep walking.
Yeah. Now.
But then, then not that. So.
Yeah. All right.
Pivoted.
So now you're single?
Yeah.
Well, ladies that are out there watching Fitzdog Radio.
Yeah, do you have a lot of female listeners of Fitzdog Radio?
We actually have quite a few.
Interesting. You like Matt Rife. You have more female kind of fans out there.
Well,
you got that boyish thing going on in that jawline.
I'm boyish, and I feel like I'm sensitive to female needs.
Sensitive to female needs.
Yeah.
And you were on Wildin' Out for 10 seasons.
I was on Wildin' Out for 10 seasons, yeah. Well, you were on, what were you on, Guys?
No. I was on,
was that show?
I was on Guy Code when it didn't matter.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then it took off.
It's like the orgy finished up, and
you were
I'm
at
like,
the end?
hey, guys.
Oh, yeah.
I have observations about guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I got on Chelsea Lately at that time, too.
Oh, yeah. I think I wanted to get on Chelsea Lately back in the day.
Yeah.
Because you're a young comic. You just want to get on anything that has exposure.
Yeah.
But I knew it in my bones, and I think Michael Cox knew it as well. I don't have the personality for Chelsea Lately.
Yeah.
Because you have to, like, step on skulls to get a joke out.
Yeah.
That's why I don't love... At Midnight, I did that 1 or 2 times as well. Any forum where it's just comics on a panel, and it's just fighting to put your lips on the comedy teat.
Yeah.
Is not my speed. I just don't care enough. So I'll just disappear. I'll just Homer Simpson into the bushes and let comics kill each other to get some line about Meghan Markle or whatever.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's tough because even if I did book Chelsea Lately, I wouldn't shine on it.
Yeah.
I would just...
There was one woman when she was on the show with me, I was like, all right, I'm not getting anything on today. And she was brutal. Like you would set something up.
Yeah.
And then she would say a punchline.
Snipe you?
Yeah.
You're like...
Yeah. All right, it's time for Fastballs with Fitz.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
Who's the worst feature act that you've ever had open for you, or opening
Whoa,
acts?
these are fastballs.
You don't have to name the person.
Worst.
Just describe
feature?
them. Yeah, you go on the road. You're in, a small town.
I don't. I mean, am I throwing people under the bus here?
No, you have to say their name.
I don't know about a feature. I had an MC recently. That just was tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's kind of a hole. So
yes.
So we're not starting from 0.
Yes.
We're starting from -10.
Right.
Or -15.
Right.
Yeah. But I know how hard it is, so it's like I'm not mad. It's like, hey, stuff happens sometimes.
But it's really, when I came up in Boston, the format was the headliner hosted the show because you need to start the show strong. It's so weird that you take the worst comedian on the show and give them the hardest spot where you're trying to get the audience invested in the show.
But I mean, I feel like you're talking about showcase style, which is LA and New York have showcase style where it's 10-minute sets, 15-minute sets.
Yeah.
And then, New York, they have a really seasoned guy as the MC.
Yeah.
LA, that's more of a novice. It's just like an introductory role as the MC.
Right.
You don't treat it like that. But when you do a weekend on the road, isn't it typical you don't have like a seasoned vet MC.
No, but in Boston, the headliner would go up and he would do 10, 15 minutes. And then he'd bring up an act and then he'd do a joke or two between acts. Not always, but sometimes. And then he'd close the show with another 15, 20 minutes.
But that's... Well, how much time is he doing then?
Dude, 45.
So he does 10 up top?
Yeah. Do 10 or
then,
15 up top, 15 at the end, and then another 10 mixed in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that's the only place that does it like that, huh?
Yep.
Do they still do it that way?
I don't know. But it was tough because when you were coming up and you got on that show, you were following the headliner.
Yeah.
When you were the first act on. Yeah. So,
that's tough.
Yeah. Who do you want to give your eulogy?
Oh, man. Who do I want to do my eulogy? Probably a good friend. Maybe Aristotle. He was on SNL for a season.
Yeah.
I just known him forever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He knows the stories.
He knows. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've come up together. We were living in studio apartments in Koreatown next door to each other.
Uh-huh.
We've just been through the mud.
Right.
So I feel like there's no better person than him to tell my story.
I had this idea where you should figure this out ahead of time and then meet with the person and have a writer's session and say,
Right.
which stories are we doing? And let's punch them up a little
Tell me
bit.
what you're gonna say. So, I'm dead. My mom's there. Friends over here. How are you gonna start? No, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Erase that from the whiteboard.
Yeah. You got a writer's assistant.
Yeah, we're gonna start with like Heart of Gold, and then we'll bridge into funny.
Yes. And then we want tears.
Tears.
Wait till the end. I don't want early tears.
Yeah, because
rookie mistake.
It's like the check spot. They're crying. They
Yeah.
can't process how great I am.
Right.
Do that at the end.
Yeah. Do my plugs.
Do all the plug my dates.
Plug my dates.
even though I'm
He'll
dead,
be in heaven forever.
even though I'm dead, I still want my dates plugged. They're like honorary tickets.
Yeah.
And then bring up my meme coin, which is gonna launch when I'm dead. It's Fahim coin, and you can get it now. And my casket's like a QR code.
Have you ever not finished a set?
No, I'm a pro. I've heard that Larry David story where he goes up and he just looks at the crowd and he's just like, no.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that.
And he just
Yeah,
leaves.
yeah.
It's cool.
And he would leave early a lot, too.
Really?
He'd walk off. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you've seen, how many sets of his have you seen?
Online, you can see a bunch of them. Yeah, like it back at the Catch Rising Star in New York. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was not a good comedian.
Is it just because he was so temperamental, or he would let the slightest thing get to him and veer off track?
I don't think
Because he's brilliant.
Yeah, but I don't think he did stand up long enough to have the command of the craft. I think he had funny ideas, and they were paper ideas. They weren't performative ideas.
Yeah.
So when they came out of his mouth, they were very like
Met with resistance, or they don't get it, and then you don't know how to kind of incept the idea for the audience and be personable and,
Yeah.
and hide the medicine in the jelly.
Yeah.
So there's moves.
right.
Sometimes you'll have a great idea, like we have jokes that are in flux. I know that there's something here, but I don't
Yeah.
have the language yet.
Right,
I need to
right.
massage it.
Right.
So maybe he didn't have the massage moves yet.
Yes, he didn't have the massage moves.
But he's great, dude. The show and all that
Oh,
stuff.
no,
So-
I can't think of anybody in the history of television that has created as much A-plus comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, you just think about 10 years of Seinfeld and 8 or 9 seasons of Curb, and there's not an episode that I would not sit down and watch.
Right.
I mean, crazy funny. The characters, the jokes, and all simple, you know?
Yeah, very relatable.
Yeah.
It's interesting how it doesn't translate to stand-up, or just remind you it's its own thing. It's its own art form.
Yeah, right.
Have you left a set early?
I got hit in the chest with an apple when I was opening for They Might Be Giants. And I was
This sounds like you're speaking at the Moth. This is how you're starting. It's just a theater, a giant theater, and you hit the mic and you go, I got hit by an apple in the chest at a We Might Be Giants show. What a way to catch
it was one of those spring festivals at Kent State University in Ohio. And it was just kegs and fraternities and nobody they're there to see They Might Be Giants.
Yeah.
I'm up there bombing, and then
Did you know the band? How did this happen? How did this booking come to be?
I knew the band, and they asked for me to come out and open for them.
That has happened to me before too. Isn't it frustrating? We're losing the tablecloth here. They can't know there's a table underneath.
Cloth it.
Yeah. You're a magician. You pull it off. You go, it's been a table this whole time. Like a very low stakes magician. Because bands will ask us occasionally.
Yeah.
Because they love comedy. There's this symbiotic relationship between music and stand-ups. They love what we do. We love what they do. And they're like, oh, it'd be so cool to have a comedian. Please open for us. And if you don't know any better, you'll do the gig.
Yeah.
Which is what I've done it before. And you just very quickly realize music and comedy are two very different spaces.
Yep.
And they don't want to see you. They don't know who you are. And emotionally, they are not in that state to listen. They're there to explode.
They're there to explode, and they're there to, it's nostalgic. Seeing music is nostalgic. You want to see these songs. You're not open to new ideas.
And you're an impedance to what they love.
Yes.
They don't know you're co-signed by the band. They don't really care. They just know you are not, We Must Be Giants.
Yeah, right.
So they're taking out their aggression on you.
Right.
Maybe it'd be a little better if the band was like, we love this guy. Did they do that?
No, but you know what Amy Mann used to do is she would tour with a comedian, like Paul F. Tompkins would go with her a lot, Patton Oswalt would go with her, and she would have that. She didn't like talking to the crowd, so she hired them to do that part. So they would say, the next song I'm going to play is, as if they were her, but they would also mix a lot of comedy in. So they would get up and talk, not every song, but a lot of the songs they'd get up and like do like comedy mixed in between.
That's kind of brilliant. Also, I think her music is a little more suited for that.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty smart.
Yeah.
Delegate it.
All right, final question.
Oh, let's fix this cloth. What's going on?
Yeah,
Why can't we do this?
It's crazy.
This is how you know we're stand-up
It just
comedians.
started out of nowhere.
Like we can't even balance a tablecloth on the table.
I think there's a rat like holding on to the other edge of the tablecloth. No matter how far we pull it over, it keeps going.
It's like a trick candle.
Oh my God. It's like Andy Dick's pants at a rap party. All right. What's the hackiest bit you've ever done?
Ooh. Maybe a year or two in. I don't know the exact. I did one of those things where they're like devices, comedy devices. One of those like, if you're not raising your hand, you are that guy. Like one of those things.
Yeah.
Anybody, blah, 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 blah. If you're not raising your hand, you are that guy.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I think another one too is when we were in Iraq for that war, you know? You're losing track, so many.
The 2.0 or the original?
They blend together.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, my brother, he's overseas. He's like fighting overseas. Let's give it up. Everyone's like, yeah. I go, yeah, he blew up 2 U.S. tanks, and and I'm like, too late. You already clapped for him. And then I would start like pop locking his shit.
Dude, that's not hacky at all. That's a great joke.
I wonder if you asked. Did you ask me that on the last one? I wonder if you asked me to say. I might have said the same exact shit.
No, I don't know, but that bit's great. I've seen you do that bit.
No, that's like a long, long time ago. But
sure?
I think it's a little.
Oh, then maybe you did say it on this before because I definitely heard it. Yeah.
I think that's the heck. I'm trying to think. What's yours?
Hackiest bit I ever did? I used to talk about in Boston. I hated fraternities, but I was kind of fratty in the sense that like I hung out with a bunch of white dudes. We drank a lot. We were really into chicks. Mm-hmm. And so I had this joke about, you get lost in Boston, and it's like, and then you talk to a fat guy. How do I get to the Prudential Building? Well, you take a right at the Dunkin' Donuts, then make a left at TGI Fridays, past Wendy's. It's like, or you ask like a jappy chick, and she's like, well, you make a right at Bloomingdale. It was like my first joke. But like, I didn't give up. Like 5 different stereotypical characters
telling you where to go.
Yes, like we get the recipe of the joke, Greg. You don't have to keep.
And that is back in the day when it was like Jewish American princess was a term.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right, is that not a term anymore?
No.
Jap.
Jesus, I heard. I was like, I know what he's talking about. Let's clarify here, though.
Oh, you thought it was Japanese?
No, I know the difference, but I know the 2 terms.
Yeah.
So I'll do you a solid here.
Right,
this is a Jewish American princess.
Woo!
This is gay guy all over again.
What's the difference between a Jewish American princess and a Mexican American princess?
Is this a joke? Or?
Yep.
What?
The Mexican American princess has fake jewelry but real orgasms. Fahim Anwar will be coming to you doing his stand-up comedy. Yeah. One of the best. One of the best working today. Vancouver, Dallas, Seattle, Portland, Boston. You can say how you should do that format in Boston.
I'll take your hackiest joke and I'll do it. I'll buy it off you.
The District of Columbia, which I guess they can't call it that anymore because they just shipped them all back.
Oh, so what's it going to be called?
I don't know. The District of
America? Just slap America on everything?
Everything.
The District of the Gulf of America, the District of America.
America fries.
They get greedy. America. Just America squared.
Every TV show has to have the word America in it. American Seinfeld.
America.
Yeah. All right, man. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I'll see you on the road, guys.